Another huge win for the Blue Jackets, thanks mostly to Jet Greaves. Let's talk about that on today's Locked on Blue Jackets.
You're Locked on Blue Jackets, your daily podcast on the Columbus Blue Jackets, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Blue Jackets, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day. I am, as always, your host, Jay Foster, here to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly about your favorite team and mine, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Before we get things started, I want to thank everyone for making this your first listen of the day every single day. Locked on Blue Jackets is free and available on all podcast platforms and over on YouTube. Now, we are once again talking about Jet Greaves. We're going to talk about some other stuff as well, but that, for me, was the big story. Jet Greaves continues to impress. Might just be the starting goalie until, knock on wood, the end of the regular season. Like, again, the playoff push is out of the Blue Jackets' hands for now. They wait and see what happens tonight with Montreal. That'll probably adjust how they approach Tuesday's game, but we'll talk about that later on. Jet Greaves started his fourth game in 5 days. He played an AHL game on Wednesday. He played against the Buffalo Sabres on Thursday, made 39 of 41 saves there. First NHL shutout on Saturday, 22 of 22 saves. Last night, excellent. 29 of 30 saves. He allowed a goal on the first shot of the game, and then no more. Decided to be magnanimous, let the old man get another goal, and then shut it down. Like, he's been excellent since the call-up. He's been excellent for a lot of the season. Like, again, he's seen limited action, obviously, being the third string goalie and all, like, which is right. He should be down in Cleveland playing a billion minutes there. If they were not ready for him to be the starting goalie, and I don't think they were ready for him to be the starting goalie, he should be in Cleveland playing a billion minutes, right? Is he the starting goalie next season? He just might be. But again, that's looking forward. When you pull up the Blue Jackets goalie stats, it is stark in here. Elvis Merzlikins has played in 52 games, or started 52 games, has an .892 save percentage and a record of 26, 21, and 5. So he's basically 500, which is, again, an improvement on last season, but not enough. Daniil Tarasov has started 19 games, played in 20, has an .881 save percentage and a record of 7, 10, and 2. Jet Greaves played in 9 games, started all 9, 5 wins, 2 losses, 2 overtime losses, a .926 save percentage, which, again, it is a small sample size, but he has been just an absolute monster for this team when they've needed him to be. Of his 9 games this season, 3 of them have been under 900 save percentage. So his first game of the season was against Washington, overtime loss, made 35 of 37 saves. Again, an overtime loss against Anaheim, 4 goals on 27. Against Tampa Bay, 4 goals on 32. 4 goals on 31 in that win over Montreal on December 23rd. And then since then, 969 against St. Louis, a 900 against New Jersey, a 951 against Buffalo, a 100 against Washington, and a 967 against Washington just last night. So his past 5 starts, he has been genuinely excellent. In his past 3 games, he's got a 963 save percentage, and has made 90 of 93 saves. He allowed 2 goals early against the Sabres on Thursday. He allowed 1 early last night against the Capitals, and that's it. Like, again, he, I think, is playing a lot looser than either Elvis or Tarasov would be. I think Elvis carries stress in a way that is not ideal. And Tarasov just hasn't been good enough all year, which again, we don't have to get into the rest versus rust and Elvis's, durability levels. Jet Greaves is younger than both of them. He clearly loves to play. He loves to play more. Like, it's been mentioned a couple of times, but at the end of the Monsters regular season last year, Jet Greaves played 3 games in 3 nights to clinch the number 1 seed in the North Division for them, which meant they got that first round bye, and away they go. So he's not a stranger to playing a lot of hockey in a short space of time, and he has proved that it was the right choice, right? There were a couple of people that were concerned that starting him for the 4th night in out of 5 would be a mistake. And to that, Jet Greaves said, no, actually, no. Again, another excellent performance from him. Allowed that 1 goal early, which it's Ovechkin, right? I don't think he saw a ton of it either. I don't remember who screened him, but I want to say Dante Fabro, maybe, was the screen. I might be wrong about that. But he allowed 1 goal on 1 shot and then made the next 29 saves, including an extremely hectic second period where the Blue Jackets were outshot 13-7. They were outshot 10-6 in the third period. So, would it have been nice to get a little bit more support for the goalie? Sure, but the Blue Jackets got plenty of goals. They went down 1-0 and then scored the next 4 goals. A goal from Werenski, who's now at 22 goals on the season. Adam Fantilli with 2 on the night. So he is 1 goal away from his first 30-goal season, which feels insane. Because I feel like he hit 20 and then stopped scoring for a minute, and then suddenly you turn around and he's got 4 goals in his last 2 games, which is truly bonkers. In terms of Jet Greaves, though, Alex Ovechkin had 6 shots on goal last night. Scored on that first one, and then Jet Greaves was like, okay, well, you've had 1, and now you're not getting any more. Just complete dominating shutdown of one of the best goal scorers in the game. Arguably the best goal scorer in the game. I don't know why I said arguably. I do genuinely think he's the best goal scorer in the game. But for Jet Greaves to come in here at 24 years old, played yesterday, played Thursday, played Wednesday, and then to allow an early goal like that, and then to shut it down for the rest of the game, huge. I think that's the big thing for me as well, is the mental game is so strong. Obviously, he's an extremely talented goalie, great skater, very agile. His positioning is perfect. His glove hand is excellent. Handling the puck is a bit of an adventure sometimes, but it's just kind of how it is for 99% of goalies, right? But his mental game is so strong that he allows an early goal, and some goalies, they allow an early goal and the wheels just completely fall off, right? Jet Greaves, it happened on Thursday as well. 2 early goals. Blue Jackets are down 2-0. Everyone is writing their obituary, and Jet Greaves says, actually, no, hang on a minute here. I didn't say, I didn't hit no bell, right? Allows those 2 early goals and then makes, I think, the next 34 saves in a row. Same again last night. Allowed an early goal, first shot of the game. Alex Ovechkin. Again, no shade. No shame in allowing a goal to Alex Ovechkin. Especially, he seems to be on a tear this year. I think that's his 43rd or 44th goal this year, which is wild because he's a billion years old. And also broke his leg and missed a bunch of time. But he allowed that 1 early goal and then said, nope, now we're done. You'll go and score some goals, and I will take care of things down at this end. And to the Blue Jackets' credit, they went out and they scored some goals, and Jet Greaves did take care of that end of the ice. Let's take a quick break, and then there's another young player that I want to talk about, surprising no one. Let's talk about Adam Fantilli in just a second here at Locked On Blue Jackets. First, I want to tell you about Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more, experts that are ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who has delivered incredible results in other jobs, and posting your job is free, simple, and within a day will get you multiple qualified candidates to choose from. Instead of hiring full-time, Upwork helps find affordable, top-tier freelancers to scale your business efficiently. So visit Upwork.com and post your job for free right now. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business today. Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jackets. Let's talk about Adam Fantilli, who went on a little bit of a cold streak for like a second, I feel like. He has 5 goals in his last 4 games. A goal against Ottawa, 2 against Washington, 2 more against Washington. 5 points, 5 goals. Went pointless 3 games before that, and then had a 2-goal game again against Nashville. So, like, in his last, 8 games, he's got 7 goals. 7 goals and 8 points. Rockstar. And this weekend, he played some real, I texted a friend about this, like, he played big boy hockey this weekend. That first goal, again, or was it his first goal yesterday? Against Hunter Shepherd, he absolutely levels Ryan Leonard, skates down to the other end of the ice, scores a goal, adds a second goal, makes it 4-0. Last night, scores the 2-1 goal to put the Blue Jackets up on top, to give them their first lead of the game. Scores the 3-1 goal as well. Just, again, big boy hockey is what he's playing at the minute. He's at 29 goals on the season. I was joking when I said that he might score 30 goals. When I think he scored his first goal yesterday, or on Saturday, excuse me. And I was like, yeah, he might like mess around and score 30 goals this season. Like, mostly joking. And since then, he's scored another 3 goals, and he's at 29 goals on the season. If he scores a goal in one of his last 2 games, that's his first 30-goal season. He was the first person from that draft class to hit 25 goals on the season. He's now going to be the first player to hit 30 goals on the season, which does kind of beg the question: why were Adam Fantilli and Ken Johnson not surgically attached to each other at the beginning of the season? You know, like, Adam Fantilli has 52 points in 80 games right now. I believe his first, 30 games of the season were extremely, and like, part of this is that he got called up to that top line when Monahan went down. But even after Monahan has returned and Fantilli has, been not removed from that 1C spot, but he's been playing second line center. He's been doing a pretty damn good job of it. But even not playing with Monahan, with Marchenko and Voronkov, he has been just absolutely lights out. I do think a lot of that is that Ken Johnson is just so much damn fun to play with, and Ken Johnson is going to be a point of game player next season. That's my hot take. Is we're going to see a 50 assist, 50 or 60 assist, 20 or 30 goal season from Ken Johnson next season. He is here. He is on the verge of breaking out, and it's just, you absolutely love to see it, right? But in terms of Adam Fantilli, rockstar. Like, I said yesterday that Zach Werenski has decided that this team is making the playoffs. Adam Fantilli has also decided that this team is making the playoffs. 4 goals in a weekend, all against goalies as well, and all of them have been, like, good goals. All of them have been, like, and this isn't, again, I talk a lot of smack about, like, empty net goals and stuff, but hey, they still count as goals. Adam Fantilli is now second in both points and goals in his career for the entire 2023 draft. The only player that's got more than him is Connor Bedard, who has 124 points in 148 games. Adam Fantilli has 79 points in 129 games. But Adam Fantilli has 41 goals to Bedard's 43. So, again, he's a bit more balanced than Bedard is. Bedard, a lot of assists. No, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But Adam Fantilli, rockstar, like is probably going to finish this season leading this draft in points this season. I'm going to double check how many points Connor Bedard is on right now before I commit to that. But Bedard is on 63 points at the minute, 21 goals, 42 assists. Adam Fantilli on 52 points. So, okay, so it's not likely. Okay, unless he scores 11 points in his next 2 games, which I don't think he will. But my point stands that Adam Fantilli, you can see him figuring it out as he goes, right? I feel like he gets better every single game. And if they separate him and Kent Johnson, we riot, right? Like, they've had to shuffle the lines around. I think having James Van Riemsdyk on that line has been good and fun. I still think that there is a better option out there. I don't know what it is right now. But for the moment, James Van Riemsdyk is doing a fine job of being the third person on that line, of being the adult on the line, right? The Jenna, Monahan, Marchenko line seems to be clicking okay. The third line, Voronkov, Olivier Sillinger, all the lines are clicking at the right time, right? But that duo of Fantilli and Johnson, which is something that I talked about a lot, I think, last season and like early this season, those two play together so well. Kent Johnson is a cheat code in terms of getting Fantilli the puck. And Fantilli's got the size, the speed, the skill. Like, again, I hesitate to compare him directly to Nate McKinnon, but he has that same energy, right? And I feel like in a couple of years, what we're going to do is every time Adam Fantilli is thundering down the ice, people are going to say, uh-oh, out loud. Like I do every time I watch Nate McKinnon have the puck and he comes thundering down the wing like a runaway train. Like, that's the energy I'm getting from Adam Fantilli. And he gets better and better every single game. The team needed this weekend to be good. Adam Fantilli was a big part of that. He scored 4 of the 11 goals that this team scored this season. So this weekend, excuse me. So seems pretty good to me. I'm going to take another quick break, and then I want to talk about just kind of the playoff picture right now and the what's coming up for the Blue Jackets and for the Canadians, who are the only other team that is in the position to make the playoffs. Everyone else got eliminated over the weekend. Detroit, both New York teams, etc. So let's talk about what the Blue Jackets need to do to continue to stay alive. And the short answer is it's kind of out of their hands, but the long answer is we'll talk about it in just a second on Locked On Blue Jackets. First, I'm going to tell you about wonderful pistachios. You're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with wonderful pistachios. They are one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they are packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller for longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. It is the perfect grab and go snack for busy days. Whether I'm snacking at my desk, on a road trip, or I just need a quick protein boost, they are always my go-to. But if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. Get snackin and get crackin with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jackets. Let's check in real quick with the standings. The Blue Jackets have gotten some luck. The Canadians, I think, have lost 3 straight games when they could have clinched, or they've lost at least 2. I think they've lost 2 games in a row when they could have clinched. In fact, this is a thing that we can find out. We have the technology. Yeah, so they could have clinched on against the Senators on, I think, Wednesday. and they didn't. Or what was the 11th? The 11th was a Friday. I know how to read a calendar. They could have clinched on Friday. They didn't. They lost to the Senators. They lost in overtime to the Maple Leafs the next day. So the Blue Jackets have, I think, won 4 straight games, have erased that 8-point deficit to a 3-point deficit, or I think it was a 10-point deficit, actually. Blue Jackets can still only top out at 89 points. Canadians are currently sitting at 88 points. So Canadians have 2 games left. They play tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks, and they play Wednesday against the Carolina Hurricanes. They need to lose both of those games. They can lose one of them in overtime, but then the Blue Jackets will have to win both of their remaining games in regulation. The Canadians lose both in regulation. I believe the Blue Jackets can win one in overtime and one in regulation and still make it. Or they can win, Or they can win. All they have to do is win. That's what we're back to, right? Just win. Like I said, Canadians play tonight. They play the Chicago Blackhawks, who almost played spoiler to the Winnipeg Jets. Took a point from them. They are, I believe, locked into their draft position right now. They can't finish higher than they are, and they can't finish lower than they are. So, on the one hand, they have nothing to play for, but on the other hand, they might decide that they want to play spoiler. It should be a lot of fun. Canadians have looked kind of lifeless in the past couple of games. Or everyone has, except for Jakub Dobeš, who was excellent in that overtime loss against Toronto. But unfortunately, the Blue Jackets need the Canadians to lose a game. This is not a case of all you've got to do is win and you're in. You have to hope that the Canadians lose as well. Blue Jackets have to win both of their remaining games this season. That's out of the question. If the Habs lose tonight, then the Blue Jackets stay alive. If the Habs win, Blue Jackets are done. So it's all based on, can the Chicago Blackhawks decide to win a hockey game? Which sometimes they do decide to win a hockey game, in fairness. Will it be tonight? Who can possibly say? They did win the first game of the season series. They beat the Canadians 4-2 back on January 3rd. So stranger things have happened, right? And in terms of their recent form, they are currently they're 3-5-2 in their last 10 games. So not sparkling, but if Spencer Knight can just have the game of his absolute life tonight, I would enjoy that a whole lot. And then it turns to the Blue Jackets, who they play Philadelphia tomorrow night. So we'll talk about that in tomorrow's episode, which we'll record that after we know the results of tonight's game. So we know whether the Blue Jackets are still alive or not. And then the season finale, I believe, is against the Islanders, which could be an interesting one. Obviously, Islanders have been eliminated now. Philly got eliminated a while ago. Both teams that, on the one hand, have nothing to play for, but on the other hand, might not care. The Flyers are playing under Brad Shaw now instead of under John Tortorella. And they had a second there where they looked like they might be perking up. They were not. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10 games. And the Islanders are 3-5-2 in their last 10 games as well. So it all comes down to this, see what happens tonight. It's tough to sit here and be like, well, we don't know what, it sucks that it's out of their hands, right? And I was thinking about this as I was kind of getting ready to record. 2 games this season, the Blue Jackets have been tied with 3 minutes left, and they've then allowed. So they did it against the Rangers. I think they allowed the game-winning goal in regulation with 30 seconds left in the game. And I want to say it was Detroit as well. I think the first game against Detroit of the season, Detroit scored with 2 minutes left in regulation to again win the game. And if the Blue Jackets had just gotten those 2 points, that's huge, right? I think also about that series against the Canadians, right? Like the Blue Jackets, I believe, went 1-2 against the Canadians this season. Or 1-1. I think they won one in regulation, they lost one in regulation, and they lost one in overtime when Ken Johnson got mauled by Nick Suzuki, and then they ended up scoring after that play. But the game is past. There's no point. Like, hindsight is 2020. And again, sitting here being like, well, if they'd gotten a point from this game, or if they'd gotten a point from this game, or if they'd managed to like not get shut out 6 games of the last 14 or whatever it was before going into this weekend, again, it would be a very different story. Sean Monahan had been here all season, very different story. If they'd called Jet Greaves up 2 games previously, like, what would happen? A lot of what ifs, and I don't think that they're necessarily helpful, but man, that one loss with 30 seconds left in regulation, I think stings. And again, like, losing to the Habs always stings, but you're in this position right now, and there's a world where the Blue Jackets finish on the same number of points as the Canadians and lose out because of tiebreakers. That would sting the most, I think. But we'll see. Still a lot to play for. Blue Jackets are still alive. They played 80 games this season and they're still alive. Will they make it to game 81 and be playing meaningful hockey? We'll talk about that on tomorrow's episode. Thank you for listening to this episode, for making it your first listen of the day every single day. Locked On Blue Jackets continues to be free and available on all podcast platforms and over on YouTube. I've been Jay Foster. You can find me on Twitter at _Jacob Foster, JAKOBFORSTER. You can find the show at LO_Blue Jackets. If you have comments, questions, criticisms, you can email me at locksedonbluejackets@gmail.com. Thank you once again for listening, and until tomorrow, make sure you stay locked on.